Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What is the biggest secret you've ever kept from your family? Mom had a handmade heirloom blanket from her great-grandmother. When I was a kid, my action figures decided to torture my sister's Barbies for information on the location of the secret base. When the Barbie general still wouldn't talk after having her arm melted to a stump on the spinny bit on top of the lawnmower engine, she was forced to watch as her co-conspirators melted in a Tupperware vat of gasoline. When the interrogation started getting out of hand, I threw water on the gasoline to put out the fire, splashing it on the side of the house and setting the house on fire. I panicked, ran inside, grabbed the first heirloom blanket I could find and smothered the fire, melting one side of the blanket. My parents' relatively uninspired interrogation techniques were unable to solve the mystery of the missing heirloom. Sid, how's life been after Toy Story? He was working as garbage man on the third one IRRC. Decent pay and great benefits. Seems to be doing all right. My parents' relatively uninspired interrogation techniques. Amazing. That I was addicted to fentanyl for almost a year and then beat that addiction all on my own. I just passed 1 year off of it and I haven't considered going back once. My dad's brother adopted me. They didn't know I found my biological mom. I didn't talk to her though. Currently, this is a real possibility for my wife and I. Our nephews are with us. If their parents don't get their act together, we will adopt them. The oldest turns 1 in May, and the youngest is only a month old. I know it's a long time away, or it's even a possibility that we won't have to adopt them. But I still wonder how we're eventually supposed to let them know we adopted them and we're not their biological parents if their parents do not get their lives together. Edit. I did not think my comment would blow up like this, with so much insight and helpful advice. I really appreciate everyone's insight and suggestions on how to address the concerns I've been having. We have been referring to ourselves and aunt and uncle, and we thought it might confuse our daughter, who'll be 2 in June. But luckily that hasn't happened and she realizes we're mommy and daddy still. CPS and many other parties involved have asked us if we refer to ourselves as mom and dad to our nephews and we said no. Partly out of uncertainty if we should. We still say mama and dada to help with our oldest nephew's development because he needs to learn crucial words. CPS and foster care have asked us if we are interested in becoming licensed to help side with the adoption process. We said we are so if in the event my brother and the mother do not come through, we can keep these boys a part of the with family. They deserve it and I've unfortunately heard too many horror stories about foster care from friends. And what I've read on Reddit. Although I know that's not always the case. My wife has been my absolute rock through all of this. I won't lie, it's beyond stressful caring for 3 children alone while she works. And I know it's stressful for her while I'm at work. But we are committed to this and our family. I started online classes this January for the betterment of my family and failing is not an option. And never was before our nephews came to us. Because completing my IT degree will be such a life improvement for us. Not that we live a bad life. I will show my wife everyone's response and I apologize for not being able to respond to all of them individually. Thank you all for the great advice, it means the world to myself and my wife. Red heart. If you do adopt them, make sure you tell them early on and normalize it. It was hidden from me until my stepmother told me as punishment at the age of 10 that my dad wasn't my real dad. Being adopted isn't traumatic, it's how the adoption and communication is handled that can be. As someone who was adopted just after his first birthday, let me give you one important piece of advice. Just tell them and tell them early. Don't sugarcoat it or make it seem like a big deal. It's just something that happens sometimes. Tell them that it doesn't matter if they're your biological children or not. That you love them all the same. I've always known that I was adopted and to me it didn't matter because parents aren't the people who got drunk, fucked without protection and oops 9 months later had a kid. Parents. Real parents are the ones who care for you, raise you, comfort you when you need it, feed you, clothe you, and most importantly, love you. Biology isn't required for any of that. So as far as I'm concerned, blood doesn't matter. It's the people who love and care for you that do. Do that for them and you'll be fine. Even if they end up going back to their parents. My recommendation is to stay as involved as you can. Make sure your nephews know they have an aunt and, I'm assuming, uncle they can rely on and confide in. This was a long time ago. But I pretended to graduate from college after 4 years of my family paying for it. The last semester of my senior year I was told that because of an incomplete my sophomore year I wouldn't be graduating. When I promised to retake that class over the summer, they allowed me to march with my classmates in a cap and gown. Instead of telling my family the truth I just went ahead with it. The whole family came, big party etc. Of course I did not take the class that summer. That hung over my head for 20 plus years when after getting sober I completed my degree by working with the college and taking a local class. If anyone is reading this, listen to me. If you are close to graduation and haven't made it, reach out to the school. We will help you find a way across the finish line. You will have to work, but it will be worth it. There are people at your school that know how the institutional policy works and how to find the shortest distance between you and a degree. Don't be embarrassed about why you didn't finish or your previous academic struggles. We don't care. People can help. Great post, thank you. When I finally reached back out to my college, they were like, oh, you need to talk to Dean so and so. I was astonished there was a specific person to talk to for someone in my situation. And he laid out the path for me. No judgment, no shame. Totally the opposite. Ask for help. Congratulations on your sobriety. Good for you to finish what was needed to be done. Please stay in your sobriety. I've been sober for 13 years. Keep up the good work. Smile, have a great day. Slightly smiling face.